Now, I didn't think any changes were called for, any so-called reforms. But the fact is, the ones the president made today are really minimal. First of all, as Glenn Greenwald complained, the metadata program is going to continue, and the president said that it should go to a third party, but he didn't say whom, because his panel had recommended the phone companies, and he said they don't want it. The private sector doesn't want it. I don't know who that third party would be. And to me, it's much more efficient to have the NSA keep it. Now, if they can find another agency within the government or set up some sort of an apparatus, by which this can be done, so long as the NSA can move quickly to protect us against plots, that's all that's necessary, that the data is there and the NSA is able to move quickly.
Now, Congressman, I understand that one argument is you never know, we might need this data. But can you point to a specific example when having this metadata stopped a terrorist attack?
I can certainly give you one example right away of when it was part of the mosaic and very helpful. When we had the Zazi attempted subway attack back in 2009 in New York, it was under Section 702 of the NSA, under Section 702, that the NSA was able to first find out that Zazi was in contact and that he was going to carry out the attack. But then under Section 215C, they were able to find out his accomplice, and that person is now doing a life sentence. So what it's able to do is, it's part of the mosaic. It can take information and enable you to drill down. We found out who else was involved in that plot because specifically of 215C, which is domestic, and 702, which is foreign. So, and there's any number of other cases where it's part of the mosaic that's used. And again, I think what was significant today, and what really has only come out in the last several weeks, and I wish the president had said this sooner, is that there has not been one abuse of all the documents that Snowden has released and all of the hysterical talk on the front pages of so many newspapers. There has not been one abuse of the NSA or by the NSA that's anyone has found. And that, I think, is very significant. With all these billions of pieces of data they have, not one abuse. And also, we have not been attacked in 12 years. So I really wonder why people like Snowden and Greenwald and others, and some others in the Congress and the Senate, are so intent on making the NSA the enemy when all they're doing is trying to protect us and doing it within the strictest constitutional guidelines.
Congressman, wasn't there an example from a NSA Inspector General report where individuals were using some of the surveillance methods to spy on ex-girlfriends, ex-wives, that sort of thing?
Yeah, there were 5 or 6 people in the entire course of it, which had nothing to do with politics. It was people spying on some girlfriends and some other employees. But you take any police department, you take any government agency, you take any private corporation, and if you can't find 5 or 6 instances over the years where somebody has abused their power, that's one thing. But here's a case where nothing was done to the general public, nothing was done politically, nothing was done governmentally. There's always, unfortunately, human nature being what it is, no one is going to be perfect. But the fact is, there's been no abuse of the public. There's been no attempt to use this for political reasons. And I would stack that record against any other, either government or even private sector entity.
All right, Congressman Peter King, thanks. We'll have you back again to keep talking about these important issues. We appreciate it.